home opener on Saturday. Game between two land-grant schools has been designated as Land-Grant Day, and being on the 20th anniversary of 9/11 has also been designated as First Responders Day. As you all are aware, about 8 minutes remaining at halftime. We'll ask the fans to be in their seats. C.J. Spiller will be honored by the National Football Foundation for his selection to the College Football Hall of Fame. And if you will, please stay in your seats following the conclusion of Coach Swinney today. CJ will be joining us in here at about 11:45 for about 15 minutes. So with that, we will turn it over to the head coach.
All right, thanks, Ross. Good morning, everybody. Really tough loss, obviously, this past week, but really proud of the effort of our team, proud of the grit and the will to win that I saw in our guys, and then also how they've responded. That's been a real positive over the last couple of days. So we've had wins around here in the past where I've not been real happy, and we've had losses around here where I watched the tape and I'm furious because I didn't see what you got. I didn't see what you have to have in place to be able to win, and that was not the case Saturday night. Everything from a intangible standpoint that I think you got to have to win was on full display with our kids. Their fight, their heart, their will to win, their expectation, was tremendous. Their toughness, all of those things. We certainly got a lot to learn from that game. We got a lot to improve on, especially offensively. But we will because we got a team that cares, and it's very important to them. But we got to improve our precision. We got to improve on our details, our fundamentals, and we got to eliminate the critical mistakes. That's what football is all about. I mean, football punishes you for mistakes, and it rewards precision and details. And that's what the difference in the game was the other night was just mistakes and just details and fundamentals offensively. Because we played well enough to win in the other two phases. So, but I will say this, I think we got a chance to be one of the better teams we've had around here. This team has what it takes, and if we make the improvement that we're capable of making, and we stay healthy, I think when it's all said and done, this will be one of the better teams we've had since I've been the head coach. I love these guys. And, it was a really tough, hard-fought game, and if we'd have won 10-3, we'd have the same problems. We'd be sitting here today with the same issues. It wouldn't be anything different. We'd still, it's just better when you come out on top. But those type of games make you better. And what I saw from my perspective and all my years of experience, this team has what it takes. And so that's exciting to me as we move forward. But definitely got a lot of work to do, and excited about it this week. Injury-wise, I think we're going to get Trotter back next week, hopefully, but he'll be clubbed up. So, all he could really do would be able to play guard and just be an extra guy for us, which still he's got a lot of knowledge, and he's a functional guy, but not going to be able to snap for a little while, but should get him back. As I said last night, Xanders is going to be out for the season. And go ahead and do the surgery on him. Big loss for us, but thankfully we got some good depth there. EJ, in a little bit of a turn of events there, he really wants to try to play. So we're gonna see where he is today and tomorrow, see if he can do it. And, talking to Dr. Brown, they think. I mean, he's going to have the surgery. It's a little ligament right in his thumb. But he thinks he can play, so we're gonna try to tape him up, split him up, and see how he does in practice today or tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So that's still going to be kind of up in the air, and hopefully he can play, and we'll be able to do it when the season's over. But other than that, we're in a pretty good spot injury-wise, especially coming out of a game like that. And I think that's a credit to our staff and how we train, how we practice. Because that was an incredibly physical game, and again, pretty good shape there. Excited about this week. South Carolina State. Buddy Pugh is a friend. He's a guy. He's a man that I have a lot of respect for, as well as him being a great coach. Just one of the better people you'll ever meet. So always enjoy getting a chance to to see him. They're coming off a explosive game against Alabama A&M, and 41-42 game, but they had a lot of points and very explosive on offense. They had 11 explosive plays, led by their quarterback. Quarterback's very athletic. He's fast. He's going to be a great challenge for us in being able to handle a very mobile quarterback. We're going to obviously see a lot of those guys as we go through the year. So I think that's a good challenge for our defense. They're led by their running backs. Flowers kid transferred in from Wake Forest. He's a good player. We've seen him when he was at Wake as well. Got a great receiver. Number one there, I think he had like 1,000 yards in a very short season this spring. So he's a good weapon for them defensively. Their back seven is very experienced. They got a Player of the Year candidate at corner. And probably the biggest thing about South Carolina State is I think 73 of the 79 guys are from South Carolina. So these kids will be excited to play, and looking forward to competing against these guys. But for us, just again improving our team, improving our details, our chemistry, our fundamentals, eliminating those critical mistakes. Building upon the good things that we did in the game, because there were a lot of good things in the game this past week, and just continue to move forward. So, and then getting back in the Valley, this is something we've been looking forward to for a long time. I'm happy for our fans. I know it's going to be a great environment. Our players are super excited. I mean, that was one of the best things the other night. I mean, just and you forget. I mean, we got 2 freshman classes that have yet to experience that. And it was awesome. It really was awesome. The roar of the crowd, the pageantry, the ebbs and flows that come with it, was really just great to have back in the game. And I'm excited for our guys to be able to experience Death Valley these next couple weeks. We're going to be here, so going to be a great experience and a great opportunity for everyone. And again, look forward to just continue to move forward with our team, and then really happy for CJ. Man, what an amazing opportunity! What a great year for CJ. He's got a baby on the way. He's married last year. He's coaching at his alma mater and going into the College Football Hall of Fame. All in a short amount of time. So it's really, really awesome to just be able to be a part of that and to see how far he's come on his journey. Really proud of him, and I know that's going to be a special moment for everyone. And Clemson people, they've got long memories, and they all love C.J. Spiller, as they should, and so do I. So really happy for him to have that moment, and know y'all enjoy visiting with him. With that, I'll take your questions.
Dabo, just to clarify on E.J. Williams, has he not had the surgery yet?
No, he has not. We were going to go ahead and do the surgery, but he thinks he can. He wants to give it a shot, and Dr. Brown thinks he could do it. Could go ahead and do it now, and he'd be out, probably 4 or 5 weeks. But if he play with it, then you'll do it at the end of the season. He might be out 6 weeks, postseason, but might be a little longer. But it's something that I don't know right now. And we're gonna go practice today, and he's gonna go and see how he does. They got a plan for how they're gonna just kind of tape him up, and we'll see if he can do it. But that's what he wants to try to do, and we'll see how he goes today and tomorrow.
Is it a ligament or a bone?
Yeah, it's like a little ligament, just a ligament in his thumb.
Do you know Nolan? Do you have an update on Nolan?
Nolan's great. He's not going to play this week, but he's really close. I think he'll be a full go for next week. But I'm really excited that where he is and getting him back. And really, last week and the experience that Jalen got and Joseph and Makuba and how they played. With Nolan on the sideline, that's going to serve us well as we go throughout the course of the season. So it's a position we got a little depth, and not to mention Mickens and Ray and Tyler Venables. It's a good group. It's a deep room. And now Makuba's played in a game like that and played well. Moment wasn't too big for him. Got a few little things, alignments and a couple things with some eyes that we can clean up. But Nolan is just going to really solidify us right there. So we're strong up the middle, man. With the guys up front, those backers, and how they played. I mean, Skowski and Balin were incredible. And again, we did a great job structurally on the back end. Didn't really give them any big plays. Did a good job there. So, and held up on the run. So outside, right, they got outside of us a couple times. There at the end, but just really proud of how they played, and getting Nolan back just gonna make us better. And Tyler, I forgot about him. Yeah, he's pretty good.
There was a lot of talk for, I guess, 8 months or so that Ohio State had sort of cracked the code with their varying tempos and how was Venables going to adjust. It seemed like you guys were set each time they tried to push it. What was the key to that in your mind?
Well, we're just a much more veteran group over there. We're deeper. We're these last 2 years we just haven't been quite as good. We've been young or injured or whatever it's been, and we just not quite the veteran group. That 19 and 20 team, we were 19. We were really young. All those guys were gone. A lot to learn, a lot to teach. And then last year we were injured, or COVID, or whatever it was. We had a very thin group. And a lot of our best players didn't play. Xavier was out, in and out all year, and nowhere near the best version of himself. Miles was a freshman. Tyler Davis got hurt. Brzee got hurt some. We just didn't have a lot of depth. And then Foster out. So we just weren't quite as good. And we've just gotten better. We've learned. We worked hard on it this spring, worked hard on it in fall camp, and again, we're just an incredibly seasoned group. I mean, we just got a lot of water under the bridge over there, everywhere. You look at the experience that we have, and everybody learns from that experience. So really proud of them. Thought they did a great job. We were physical. That's a great offensive line, and we really did a good job. We were just, again, fit things up better. We structurally were better. We didn't give up the big plays outside of a couple of those two PIs. I think they took about 10 shots and hit two, where they more than 10 yards down the field. And so we just did a nice job and held up front. But the backers, I mean, Skowski and Balin they're the key. I mean, they make it go. And played relentless. Off the edge, we got more depth. We were able to keep guys fresh, and then the safeties did a nice job for us. We've improved our corner play, our corner discipline, and all those things are good. And again, they played more than well enough. We gave up 3 points, and they scored 3 points. We gave up 3, they gave up 3. We scored 3, they scored 3, and outside of one critical play, it's a 3-3 overtime, and 1970s classic, but it didn't happen. With critical error, with 3:42 left in the half, critical, and it's a simple play, and if we don't make that critical mistake, it's a first down on about the 20, and you got momentum, you come away with points, and it didn't happen. And as it turned out, one play ended up being the difference. And I knew it'd be 2 or 3 tight plays. And we had other plays that we could have overcome that, but we didn't. And we had plenty of opportunities in the game. But, I love how our team has responded. They really have taken ownership. We met together as an offense, the whole group. Thought it was important for the whole group to understand, what the mistakes were and what's reality and what we got to do to improve, and then really proud of our defense again for just making the adjustments that we needed to make against an opponent like that.
How much do you think simplifying helped the defense sort of be ready for when Georgia did sort of try to? Yeah,
I wouldn't say we simplified. We're a very complex defense, but we just got a lot of experience. Again, having Skowski and having Balin Spector out there, having those 5 ends that have a lot of experience. Brzee's not a rookie anymore. And Tyler Davis is a veteran guy, but Rook's a third-year player in the system, even though he hadn't played, and I knew he was going to – he's a guy I'm really proud of. He belonged. That was a big, big moment for Rook. They don't know anything about Rook, but he belonged. And Trey Williams belonged too. He was of all the guys, he had the most mistakes and MAs, but you would think he would. You know, he's really a first-year guy. He was hurt all last year, and you know, Rook's going on his third season, even though he really hadn't played. That's the biggest thing is the guys have a great understanding and just played with the type of precision and details that you got to have, and that was the exact opposite offensively. You know, first play of the game, I mean, should have been a 15-yard rush. Easy play. Everybody's blocked, and I got my true freshman left guard. He's jacked up, and he comes off, and they blow up the double team, and he's got his eyes, and he just forgets he's got to block that. He's got to come off on that backer. I mean, that guy's not he's blocked, and if we just do our job, and he's fundamentally better, and he's so amped up, and he details, and boom, come off on the backer. Kobe's running for probably 15-plus yards on the first play of the game. First play of the game. You know, that's just a detail. That's a very simple fundamental. Second play of the game, we got a touchdown to Shipley. He's wide open. 84 is wide open. Wide open. Like nobody around him. Nobody. And the guy stops rushing and just so happens gets his hand on the ball, tips it down. You know, then we come back and you know we end up punting the ball. We get the ball on the 2-yard line, take a shot, PI. We get out, 3rd and 4. We got the perfect play. Just run the hitch, but we get a missed signal by the receiver, and he runs straight down the field, and the quarterback's throwing the hitch on time, wide open for the first down, but he keeps running because he read the wrong signal. Well, and so now, guess what? He gets sacked because he's having to hold the ball. They ain't on the offensive line. That's on the receiver. That's a sack on the receiver. And so that's a detail, you know? And so the precision in what you do is so important. And that's what cost us offensively. You know, and again, you're going against a great defense. They won some battles too, but it's all the things that we control. We got a 3rd down, and we got a Joe wide open. And we drop the snap. I mean, just drop the snap. I mean, there's so many things in the course of the game where it's just there for the taking, but we made mistakes and we didn't play with the precision and the details that it takes to beat a team like that. This is as good a defense as there is out there, and you got to take advantage of your opportunities. And you know, they weren't great either. Neither offense was great. You know, and that's a tough challenge for both offenses coming out of the gate. You haven't played, all that type of stuff, but they were more consistent than we were, and you know, didn't make the critical mistake. And when they did, you know, we didn't capitalize. You know, we come right out there, and you know, first play we run the ball, and tight end doesn't block the right guy. We got 2 guys blocking the same guy, and this guy we got that guy blocked, but we bust. So we get 2 yards instead of 6. Second play, we take a sack. Just take a sack. Held the ball for like 5 seconds, and you can't do that. We're in scoring range. We're in field goal range. You know, these are things. And again, you're young quarterback, first start in an environment like that with people, and you know, hadn't played in a while. You got a freshman left guard. You got a first-year starter at right tackle, and they're the right guys, you know, but you got no room for error. You don't have room for the type of mistakes that we made in the game, and we just made too many. But it'll make us better. It'll make us better for sure, and it's good to get that exposed. And again, we could have played somebody and beat them 50 to whatever, and everybody's all happy. You want to know, and it's all good. But I love the fact that you know, I love those type of games. You know, it's better when you win them, but I love it when I see our guys play the right way. And even though we made a lot of critical mistakes offensively, they played tough. They played with great effort. They played physical. They kept playing, and we just couldn't quite put it together. So it's going to be something that'll help us improve for sure.
Coach, having said all that, Coach Elliott said yesterday that in hindsight he had wished he had stuck with the run game a little bit longer. Is that something you discussed with him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think there's nobody that evaluates themselves more than the coaches themselves. That's for sure. Everybody, we made some mistakes too, and you look back and there was a couple of things we should have hung in there on the run game a little bit more and didn't do it. That's definitely something that we can improve on.
Now, with the fact that DJ and Justin had never played in a game before, do you think that had any impact? And do you expect their chemistry to get better as the season?
Oh, their chemistry's been great. They've been awesome all fall camp. Justin's been awesome, but he didn't play well. He had two incredibly costly mistakes. But as I told him after the game, I'm so happy I was able to watch him make those mistakes. And it's been a long time since he's played. I just think he just maybe for whatever reason just hadn't been in a game mode in a while on that type of deal, and he just didn't have a good day. But he didn't have a good day from an execution standpoint. I mean, he made a few plays, but there was a couple big plays on the pick right there. I mean, if all he's got to do is just turn out like he's supposed to do, and he's going to catch that ball, and he might break the tackle and score or get down inside the 20, but at least he's at the 21, 22, first down, and instead it's the points the other way. And that was that's basic, like simple stuff, and he just made a bad decision. But I will promise you this: there ain't nobody cares more than that guy. And he was very down on himself, and hey, I'll win and lose with that guy any day. I'm just happy he was able to go out there and be able to make a mistake in a football game. I'm happy for him, but all that other stuff we'll get better from it. That's just a part of his journey. This guy is special, and same thing with the quarterback. I mean, he's played. He's had an unbelievable camp. When he played last year, he played really well. But, again, that was a little different deal for him. And he didn't do the little things well. But he knows it too. And so everybody's got ownership of what we all got to do, coaches and players. And we'll go get better. But this is a really talented group. And I don't have any doubt, as I said, if we stay healthy, this got a chance to be one of the better groups we've had come through here.
Coach, after watching the film, how do you think that Covey and Will Shipley did with their pass protection?
They did fine with the pass pro. They just did poor getting out, I mean, they didn't do a great job of getting out when they needed to get out. So, I mean, sometimes we have protections where they're kind of, the Secret Service, agent. They're there for, backup. But most of our we got some free release protections where they get out, but then we got some check release things where, just they overcomplicated things, and they should have been out in the structure. Especially against all the cover two and 2-man type stuff. The ball needs to find the back, but they're in the backfield, blocking nobody. They need to be in coverage. I mean, in the route concept. So, that's where they've got to improve, and they will. But didn't really give them a chance in the run game. And that's something we got to do a better job of.
Dabo, I know you like to foster good relationships with other in-state programs because you've played one every year since you've been head coach. But I know South Carolina State's going to get a pretty decent payday for their athletic department coffers. But what does your program get out of playing a kind of an obviously inferior opponent?
Well, hopefully we can develop our team, and have a chance to help them. I think that's great. But hopefully we can, get some guys some experience, have a chance to create some chemistry and rhythm, and again just develop our team and from a depth standpoint. Opportunity. We didn't get to play a lot of guys last week, in that type of game and the way it was. So hopefully we can play a lot of guys and be able to have a little better rotation, but more importantly, just improve upon the mistakes. So we look forward to competing against those guys and again getting back in the Valley and hopefully we can help them out as well.
How was your overall perimeter blocking from your receivers and tight ends?
Well, we had a huge bust on the one. Just critical. We got 2 yards, but we should have got 6 or more. And we just, turned the guy loose there. And it's not that he didn't make the block. He just didn't. I mean, he didn't get beat on the block. He just didn't go do it. And so that was disappointing. And then we had one other instance where we just didn't come flat like we needed to, but the receiver didn't have the right technique either, so he didn't help him. Where that should have been a really nice gainer for us, so the timing of that was off. I thought we did pretty good job, outside, with the exception of we had one little screen outside that I thought one receiver got knocked back. That if he just stays on his feet and covered up, you got a nice little gainer. And that's part of your run game, but we really didn't do a whole lot, on the perimeter. From a run game standpoint, and we didn't throw a lot of screens, so we'll see how they go as we go through the year. But I think we got a good group out there that'll do a great job.
Dabo, you were talking about Marcus Tate on that one double team and get up to the back, or otherwise. I mean, how do you feel like the freshman played this first?
He played tough. He played physical. Not very good fundamentally. I mean, and again, it's the first time this kid has played. But he's the best guy. He's earned it, and sometimes, it doesn't always just carry right over to the field. And so, he's practiced well. He's practiced well against good people. It's not like he hadn't seen good people. He's been blocking. He's been going against Brazil and these guys, all spring and all camp, and he gives us a great presence in there, and he's going to be an outstanding player. He's big. He's athletic, But there was things in the game, with just footwork, stepping with the wrong foot, stepping under, really understanding where the play is going and not, pinning a guy, not going to get beat over the top. Just some fundamental things with his hands he can do a better job of. A couple things protection-wise, where we got to stay square, know where your help is, et cetera. So just lots of little details. But his effort, his physicality, his willingness. The moment wasn't too big for him or anything like that. We just gotta improve from an execution standpoint and some details and fundamentals.
Dabo, one of the bright spots offensively was Joseph Ngata. After all you talked about how special he can be, how rewarding was it for you to finally see it on the field play out the way it did?
Yeah, he's good. He hadn't really played since his freshman year. He had a few plays here and there last year. That's about it. So, that's what I saw his freshman year, backing up T. And I'm like, man, this guy's getting ready to be a dang superstar. And then last year, was what it was. And then he missed, came in early part of camp and tweaked his ham again and missed some practice. But the last probably 12 days of practice before the Georgia game, he was awesome. And I mean, practicing, every rep was a game rep, and so he just carried it right to the game field. So it was great to see, and great for his confidence. He made some huge plays for us, and Frank was productive. I think he had 5 targets and 3 positives. He had 1, and then he had 2 PIs that he drew. So those are he had 3 out of 5 positives. He had 1 other play I thought he had a chance on. With a little better technique at the top of his stem. But, all those guys did a nice job. We just, Justin did not have a good game. He did some good things, but the standard that we have for him and he has for himself, but that guy hadn't played in 600-something days. And again, for him, it would have been nice maybe to have a little different game to kind of go get your feet wet, but it is what it is. And it wasn't from a physical standpoint or anything like that. He just mentally, had some critical errors.
No, but what have you what have your conversations been like with Justin since the game? Where do you feel like he is right now mentally and ready to bounce back?
He's locked in. He's mad, and he was locked in before. He had great preparation. He had unbelievable practice. He was just very disappointed in himself, and but complete ownership of what he's got to do, and you'll see it. He'll be fine. He's gonna be just fine.
Is that a case of game speed not being practiced?
I don't know if it's game speed or just hadn't been in that type of mode from an energy. It's just a lot going on. It's been a long time, Plus, who knows what he's dealing with, and he just mentally just made mistakes he doesn't make. Physically he's fine, but mentally he just made critical errors, and he hadn't done that in practice. So I just, I don't know, just had one of them days. It happens, but he'll bounce back. He's gonna have a great year. All those guys are. We got an outstanding group out there, and again, it's one game, and we got a long season ahead, and a lot of good football ahead. And if we can stay healthy, this is going to be a great football team.
Coach, I think you used Will Taylor for the most part on punt returns. Is the plan still to use Justin there at some point?
No, we're gonna go with Will. Justin is ready, but we're gonna go with Will. He did a great job, and we got him in there on offense, a little play or two, and he's a guy we'll continue to work with some. He's still learning the totality of the offense, but he's got a really unique and dynamic skill set, and he's that guy he don't flinch. I mean, he's going to be a really good player.
What does it say about him that he's been here a few weeks on campus and y'all are throwing him in against Georgia at quarterback?
Says a lot. Says a lot about who he is and what we think of him.
You guys played in big games last year, but the crowd, it seemed like everywhere the crowds were almost double. I mean, they were just electric everywhere. I know you played in that. Were there challenges, difficulties, getting back to normal after a year where maybe communication and calm and emotion might have been a little bit easier?
I think that was, again, we got two freshman groups that hadn't experienced that, so that's going to serve them well, definitely different. It's different. You can't prepare for that. You just can't. You just got to experience that, and then you grow from it. And I thought they handled it well. Again, we had some mistakes. It was just too many, this and that, across the board. But I would say it probably impacted a little bit because you got so many guys that just haven't experienced it, and until you do, it's hard to really process it. We had, a drop snap, but, does that have anything to do with the crowd? I don't think so. But I thought they handled it well for the most part from that standpoint. Energy was great. They it would have been easy. Like DJ, for example, he didn't play well for 2.5 quarters. And it would have been very easy for him to keep going, and he went like that. And I love that. I love that. That's what you want to see in a young quarterback. Because it would have been easy for it to get worse and worse and worse, and it didn't happen. He responded in a big way, and that's going to serve him well. Something he hasn't experienced. He has zero experience of that, and now he has, and he was doing it against an elite group, and made some big time throws. But had a lot of mistakes too that he's got to improve on.
Dabo, y'all talked about obviously wanting to get the run game involved a little more. That's something you wish you did. With the snaps that the running backs did get, the carries that they did get, how were you able to kind of evaluate that, if at all?
Oh yeah, we didn't really give them a chance. We only had 7 plays in the whole first quarter, and I think that was probably more of an issue than the crowd or anything like that. We had 7 plays, and so you got a young quarterback sitting over on that sideline, and I think that probably affected him more than anything. Now all of a sudden you feel like you finally get to go play and you got to do too much, and that I don't think that was like worst case scenario. And, you know, we had a couple mistakes on defense on the first drive. You know, we get the delay, you know, and they get the third down. We back up too far. Then we get a delay penalty, and they punt us deep. I mean, the punter was the MVP of the first half. So now you got bad field position. You get off your script, you know, but we got it out there. The second time we're on the 2, you know, and we got a drive going, and we bust on an easy play. Easy, like easy first down. And we bust and get a sack. And then you don't get back on the field until the second quarter. And it's just, I think that was probably more of an issue for us. We never really got a chance to get in the rhythm of the game because you're so ready to play. And then all of a sudden you don't get any rhythm. You're sitting. And then it's like all of a sudden it's like magnifies and you know, every little moment. And a young guy, you know, doing a little too much. Now all of a sudden you get away from some fundamentals, pocket presence, footwork, you know, just basic stuff that we can do a better job of. And but that was probably a little bit of an issue. The running backs, we just didn't give them. We didn't really ever give them a chance. You know, those guys are going to be outstanding, but it's kind of hard to evaluate them. And we only had 60 plays, 61 plays. You know, I mean, just didn't have enough and didn't give them enough opportunity.
Dabo, I know you spoke about your admiration for Buddy Pugh. In your eyes, what is it about him that has made him so successful for so long?
Consistency, you know, just who he is as a person. I mean, he's a servant leader. He's awesome in the community. He's been, I mean, he's been all over. You know, he coached to South Carolina as well. I guess that's where I first met him because Woody was at South Carolina. I went there. I was coaching at Alabama, and I came up and spent some time with Woody when he was on Brad Scott's staff, and Buddy, you know, met Buddy Pugh, but I've just, you know, his son worked here, so I know the type of father that he is, and I've just seen him in so many different settings, and just his consistency, his love of people, and how he's always loved these kids. You know, it's hard to stay somewhere for a long time, and he's just been an incredibly consistent model for a lot of people.
Anything else for Coach Swinney? Anything from anybody on Zoom? All right, with that, we'll dismiss Coach Swinney. Everybody will stay here. CJ Spiller should be joining us in about 5 minutes.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Hey Ross, do I have time, you think? You said 5 minutes?
Yeah, we have about 4 minutes.
Athletic department staff are dismissed.
I didn't go that far.